Deep in the shadowy forests of Slavic folklore lurks a being of unimaginable terror, Baba Yaga. A witch. A monster. A guardian of ancient secrets. For centuries, tales of her iron teeth, flying mortar, and eerie chicken-legged hut have haunted children and scholars alike. But where did this legend truly begin? What dark truths hide behind the myth? Tonight, we unravel the sinister origins of Baba Yaga, a creature feared, revered, and misunderstood. Stay with us as we dive into history, mystery, and the chilling truth of this ancient legend. The myth and legend of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is one of the most intriguing and enigmatic figures in Slavic folklore. Often portrayed as a grotesque, old crone, she inhabits a world of mystery and terror. Unlike the typical fairy tale witch, Baba Yaga's character is far more complex, oscillating between malevolence and a paradoxical role as a helper. She embodies chaos, wisdom, and the primal forces of nature. This article delves into her origins, physical depiction, dwelling, magical abilities, and her role in Slavic mythology and literature. Origins and evolution. The roots of Baba Yaga's myth extend deep into Slavic pagan traditions. She appears in countless Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, and other Eastern European folk tales, often as an obstacle to heroes and heroines seeking wisdom or fortune. Her name itself is intriguing. Baba is a common Slavic term for an old woman or grandmother, while Yaga may derive from the Old Slavic word for horror or pain. Some scholars link her to ancient earth goddesses or chthonic deities, suggesting she represents a remnant of pre-Christian beliefs regarding the cycle of life and death. Physical depiction and attributes. Baba Yaga is typically described as a terrifying, old hag with a long, hooked nose, iron teeth, and wild, tangled hair. Her grotesque appearance symbolizes her otherworldly nature. In many stories, her nose is so long that it touches the ceiling when she sleeps. Some versions depict her as having a skeletal form, reinforcing her association with death and the afterlife. Her hands, often described as bony and claw-like, further enhance her fearsome demeanor. The hut on chicken legs. One of the most distinctive elements of Baba Yaga's legend is her dwelling, a magical hut that stands on chicken legs. The hut is capable of moving and turning on command, sometimes dancing or spinning when approached by travelers. Access to the hut is often granted only if the visitor utters the correct incantation, typically a phrase akin to "turn your back to the forest, your front to me." This enigmatic residence suggests Baba Yaga's liminal nature, existing between the worlds of the living and the dead. The hut is often surrounded by a fence made of human bones, with skulls mounted on top. These skulls glow in the dark, serving as both a warning to intruders and a testament to her deadly power. Some versions of the tale claim that the fence opens only to those worthy of receiving Baba Yaga's wisdom, or alternatively, to those unfortunate enough to become her next meal. Means of transportation: the mortar and pestle. Rather than flying on a broomstick like the witches of Western folklore, Baba Yaga soars through the air in a giant mortar, using a pestle to steer and a broom to sweep away her tracks. This peculiar method of transportation further cements her connection to ancient magic and the realm of alchemy. The mortar and pestle, traditionally used in herbalism and potion making, symbolize her power over life and death, as well as her mastery of natural forces. Magical abilities and contradictory nature. Baba Yaga's powers extend beyond mere flight. She is a formidable witch, capable of summoning storms, transforming people and objects, and bestowing magical items upon those who manage to please or outwit her. Her role in folklore is paradoxical. She is often depicted as a child-eating villain, yet she can also serve as a wise guardian of hidden knowledge. This duality makes her one of the most nuanced characters in folklore. In many stories, Baba Yaga sets impossible tasks for those who seek her aid, such as sorting vast piles of grain overnight or retrieving magical objects from dangerous realms. She sometimes appears as a trio of sisters, each identical in name and appearance, adding another layer of complexity to her legend. Baba Yaga in Slavic mythology. Baba Yaga embodies many themes found in Slavic mythology, particularly those related to nature, death, and transformation. Some scholars suggest she represents an ancient deity of the wild, associated with the untamed forces of the forest. Her role as both a giver and taker of life mirrors the dual nature of many mythological figures. In certain folktales, Baba Yaga serves as a guardian of the water of life, a substance that grants immortality. She is often depicted as testing heroes who seek this precious elixir, either rewarding them with wisdom and magic or devouring them if they fail. This aspect of her character ties into the archetype of the crone, a figure representing wisdom, transition, and the cycle of life and death. Baba Yaga's role in literature and popular culture. Baba Yaga's influence extends beyond folklore into literature, film, and modern storytelling. Russian author Alexander Afanasiev, often considered the Russian equivalent of the Brothers Grimm, included numerous Baba Yaga tales in his famous collection of Slavic fairy tales. Writers like Nikolai Gogol and Mikhail Bulgakov have drawn inspiration from her legend, weaving elements of her myth into their narratives. Her presence is also felt in modern fantasy literature, video games, and film. She has appeared in adaptations ranging from animated films to horror stories, often as a sinister yet intriguing force. In contemporary fantasy novels, Baba Yaga is sometimes reimagined as a more benevolent, albeit still eerie, figure, reflecting her deep-rooted complexity. Symbolism and psychological interpretation. Psychologists and mythologists have analyzed Baba Yaga as an archetype representing the unconscious mind, transformation, and initiation. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow, a dark, hidden part of the psyche, aligns with Baba Yaga's role in fairy tales. Heroes who confront her often undergo a transformation, emerging stronger or wiser. Her role as a guardian of knowledge suggests she represents the trials one must face to achieve wisdom. Those who approach her with cunning, respect, or bravery may receive aid, while those who act foolishly or arrogantly are often doomed. This echoes the ancient concept of the wise woman, a figure both feared and revered in many cultures. Baba Yaga remains one of the most fascinating figures in folklore. Her grotesque appearance, bizarre dwelling, and unpredictable nature make her a compelling character who defies easy categorization. Whether viewed as a villain, a guide, or a test for heroes, she continues to capture the imagination of storytellers and audiences alike. Through her myth, we glimpse the ancient fears and wisdom of Slavic culture, reminding us that the line between terror and wisdom is often thin. The dark origins of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga, one of the most enigmatic and fearsome figures in Slavic folklore, is often depicted as a supernatural being with ambiguous moral alignments. Some scholars believe that she originates from ancient Slavic and pre-Indo-European traditions of death goddesses, witches, and shamanic figures. Her presence in folklore may have deep-seated mythological and spiritual implications, representing the dark, primal forces of nature, both destructive and regenerative. Her role in folklore as a threshold guardian suggests a connection to ancient rites of passage, where she tested those who sought transformation or enlightenment. Theories of origin. The origins of Baba Yaga are deeply intertwined with ancient Slavic belief systems. Some scholars argue that she evolved from pre-Indo-European goddesses associated with death and the underworld. In many mythologies, death goddesses serve as gatekeepers between the worlds of the living and the dead, possessing knowledge of fate and the afterlife. Baba Yaga's connection to the chthonic, underworld, realm is evident in her dwelling, a hut that stands on chicken legs, often depicted as revolving or surrounded by bones and skulls. This imagery suggests an association with death, transformation, and rebirth. Additionally, Baba Yaga's ties to shamanic traditions further support the idea that she originates from ancient practices of spiritual guidance. Shamans, who acted as mediators between the human and spirit worlds, often undertook symbolic death and rebirth journeys. Baba Yaga's role as a formidable figure who challenges and initiates heroes in folklore echoes the trials that shamans would endure in their rites of passage. The dual nature of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is a complex figure whose characteristics oscillate between malevolence and benevolence. In some tales, she is a ruthless cannibalistic witch who devours those who fail her tests. In others, she acts as a wise mentor who aids the hero after he or she proves worthy. This duality reflects an ancient understanding of nature as both a giver and taker of life. She represents the chaotic, untamed forces of nature that must be understood, respected, and, when possible, appeased. Her depictions as a frightening old woman with iron teeth and a nose that reaches the ceiling reinforce her otherworldly nature. Such grotesque imagery aligns her with other mythological crones who embody wisdom and danger. She is both a guardian of forbidden knowledge and a dispenser of mystical aid, reinforcing the belief that true wisdom comes at a cost. Baba Yaga as a threshold guardian. One of Baba Yaga's most significant roles in Slavic folklore is that of a threshold guardian. In many hero myths, she serves as an obstacle that the protagonist must overcome to achieve enlightenment, transformation, or self-discovery. This function closely resembles ancient rites of passage found in various cultures, where individuals undergo trials to transition from one stage of life to another. For instance, in the tale of Vasilisa the Beautiful, Baba Yaga initially appears as a terrifying antagonist but ultimately provides Vasilisa with the magical fire she seeks, rewarding her perseverance, humility, and courage. In this sense, Baba Yaga is less a villain and more a necessary challenge, one that separates the weak from the worthy. Her trials often involve impossible tasks, such as sorting grains or enduring dangerous encounters, reflecting the hardships of spiritual or personal growth. Connections to death and the underworld. Baba Yaga's role as a figure associated with death and the underworld is reinforced by her depiction in many folk tales. She is often linked to liminal spaces, such as forests, crossroads, and hidden realms, where the veil between life and death is thin. Her hut, which moves on chicken legs, is sometimes described as turning its back to the visitor before revealing its entrance, symbolizing the difficulty of entering the realm of death and returning alive. Moreover, her association with skulls and bones suggests a connection to funerary traditions and ancestral spirits. In some interpretations, her character may represent an ancient form of ancestor worship, where the dead offer wisdom to the living but also demand respect and proper ritual observance. The feminine archetype and witchcraft. Baba Yaga embodies the archetype of the crone, a powerful, independent female figure who operates outside of societal norms. In patriarchal societies, such figures were often demonized, leading to her portrayal as a monstrous witch. However, she can also be seen as a symbol of female agency and wisdom, demonstrating knowledge of herbs, magic, and divination. Her portrayal as a solitary figure living deep in the forest further emphasizes her role as an outsider who defies conventional expectations. Unlike traditional maternal figures, Baba Yaga does not nurture in a conventional sense but rather forces individuals to grow through adversity. This aspect aligns with older, pre-Christian traditions where goddesses of fate and wisdom were both revered and feared. Baba Yaga's enigmatic nature and deep-rooted connections to ancient Slavic and pre-Indo-European traditions suggest that she is far more than just a villainous witch. Her ties to death goddesses, shamanic traditions, and rites of passage highlight her role as a powerful, transformative figure. She embodies the untamed forces of nature, acting as both a destroyer and a guide. Her place in folklore as a threshold guardian reveals an ancient understanding of personal growth as a journey through hardship, where only those who prove their worth can emerge enlightened. Through her ambiguous morality, grotesque appearance, and mystical knowledge, Baba Yaga continues to captivate scholars and storytellers alike, preserving her legacy as one of the most profound and complex figures in mythology. Whether seen as a monstrous witch or a wise crone, she remains a potent symbol of the eternal balance between life, death, and transformation. Baba Yaga in modern culture. Baba Yaga, one of the most enigmatic and captivating figures in Slavic folklore, has remained a powerful presence in literature, art, and film for centuries. From her earliest appearances in Russian folktales to her modern reimaginings in contemporary fantasy, she continues to intrigue and inspire. This essay explores Baba Yaga's origins, her transformation through different artistic mediums, and her lasting impact on popular culture. Origins in Russian folktales. Baba Yaga's earliest literary representations stem from Russian oral traditions, later recorded in collections such as those by Alexander Afanasiev in the 19th century. She is often depicted as a fearsome old woman with supernatural abilities, dwelling deep in the forest in a hut that stands on chicken legs. Her role in folktales is multifaceted. She is sometimes a menacing villain who threatens or devours children, but at other times, she acts as a wise and powerful guide, helping heroes who prove themselves worthy. A defining aspect of Baba Yaga's character is her ambiguity. Unlike the straightforward villains of Western fairy tales, she does not always serve as an antagonist. In stories such as Vasilisa the Beautiful, she presents trials that test the protagonist's courage and intelligence. Those who can navigate her challenges with wit and integrity often gain valuable knowledge or magical assistance. This complex characterization has made Baba Yaga an endlessly fascinating subject for reinterpretation. Baba Yaga in literature. Beyond folklore, Baba Yaga has influenced a vast range of literary works. In Russian literature, she appears in poetic and prose works by writers such as Nikolai Gogol and Mikhail Bulgakov, who use her as a symbol of untamed power and mystery. In the 20th and 21st centuries, Western fantasy literature has embraced her character, adapting her to fit modern storytelling conventions. For example, in The Witch's Boy by Michael Gruber, Baba Yaga is portrayed as a manipulative yet humorous figure, showcasing her trickster nature. Similarly, in Deathless by Catherine M. Valente, she is reimagined within a mythic and historical context, blending Russian folklore with political allegory. Other fantasy authors, such as Naomi Novik in Uprooted, channel elements of Baba Yaga's legend into their stories, portraying powerful witches who embody her wisdom and unpredictability. The continued literary interest in Baba Yaga stems from her malleability as a character. Whether depicted as a menacing crone, a cunning mentor, or a chaotic neutral force, she embodies aspects of the wild, the feminine, and the supernatural, making her a compelling presence in storytelling. Baba Yaga in art and illustration. Visual representations of Baba Yaga have evolved alongside literary depictions, reflecting changing artistic styles and cultural attitudes. In classic Russian illustrations, she is often shown as an aged, hunched woman with sharp features, flying through the air in her mortar and pestle. Ivan Bilibin, a renowned Russian illustrator, created some of the most famous depictions of her, emphasizing the dark, eerie elements of her legend. In contemporary art, Baba Yaga has been reinterpreted in numerous ways. Some artists emphasize her grotesque and monstrous aspects, while others highlight her mystical wisdom. Modern fantasy illustrators have drawn her as a powerful sorceress, often blending traditional Slavic motifs with surreal or Gothic aesthetics. Her house on chicken legs, a distinctive feature of her mythology, frequently appears in visual art, symbolizing her connection to the threshold between worlds. Digital art and graphic novels have further expanded Baba Yaga's visual narrative. Illustrators in comic books and animated films use her imagery to evoke a sense of mystery and danger, reinforcing her role as a boundary-crossing figure between reality and the supernatural. Baba Yaga in film and television. Baba Yaga's presence in film and television spans multiple genres, from animated fairy tales to horror and fantasy epics. Soviet-era adaptations, such as Morosko, 1964, featured her as a classic fairy tale villain, while more recent interpretations have explored her character with greater depth. In Western cinema, Baba Yaga has appeared in both mainstream and independent films. Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy, 2019, presents a grotesque, haunting version of her character, emphasizing her supernatural abilities and grotesque appearance. Similarly, the animated series American McGee's Grimm and the Witcher franchise depict her as a powerful and ambiguous force, often serving as a metaphor for nature's unpredictability. Beyond film, television series such as Supernatural and The Magicians have included Baba Yaga-inspired characters, cementing her role in modern fantasy storytelling. In these adaptations, she often represents an ancient and untamed magic, highlighting themes of transformation, initiation, and the crossing of moral boundaries. Baba Yaga in video games and pop culture. Video games have also embraced Baba Yaga's mythology, incorporating her into fantasy worlds as a formidable adversary or a cryptic guide. In Rise of the Tomb Raider, 2015, she appears as the focus of a DLC storyline, where a legend is woven into a psychological horror experience. Similarly, in The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, the character of the crones shares many similarities with Baba Yaga, embodying the same eerie and dualistic nature. Her influence extends to comic books and graphic novels, where she is often reimagined for new audiences. The Hellboy series by Mike Mignola includes a terrifying and powerful rendition of Baba Yaga, emphasizing her connection to dark magic and folklore. Likewise, DC Comics and Marvel have introduced characters inspired by her, further cementing her place in contemporary mythmaking. Baba Yaga has even found her way into modern slang and pop culture references. In the John Wick film series, the titular character is nicknamed Baba Yaga, reinforcing the idea of an unstoppable, almost supernatural force. While this interpretation diverges significantly from her traditional portrayal, it demonstrates how deeply her legend has permeated global storytelling. The enduring appeal of Baba Yaga. What makes Baba Yaga such a compelling figure across different artistic mediums? Part of her enduring appeal lies in her complexity. She defies simple categorization. She is neither wholly good nor entirely evil, making her an intriguing figure who challenges conventional morality. Her association with wild, untamed spaces also speaks to the human fascination with the unknown and the boundaries between civilization and wilderness. Additionally, Baba Yaga represents an archetype that resonates across cultures, the wise woman or crone who possesses secret knowledge and supernatural power. In a world that often marginalizes older women, she remains a rare example of a powerful female figure who commands respect and fear. Truth behind the legend. The legend of Baba Yaga is one of the most intriguing and complex in Slavic folklore. Despite the lack of historical evidence confirming her existence as a real person, her story has endured for centuries, weaving its way through countless folktales, fairy tales, and cultural narratives. More than just a mythical witch, Baba Yaga represents a deep and primal aspect of human psychology, our fears of the unknown, the untamed forces of nature, and the power of the feminine in mythology. Her enigmatic character, embodying both chaos and wisdom, ensures her continued relevance in modern storytelling and scholarly discourse. Origins and evolution of Baba Yaga. The name Baba Yaga itself carries layers of meaning. Baba is a Slavic word that can mean grandmother, old woman, or even a term of respect for an elder, while Yaga has less certain origins but is often associated with words meaning horror, pain, or illness. This duality, between a grandmotherly figure and a source of fear, mirrors Baba Yaga's complex nature in folklore. Baba Yaga appears in various Slavic folktales, often depicted as a grotesque old woman with iron teeth and a long, hooked nose. She is known for living in a hut that stands on chicken legs, a surreal image that contributes to her eerie, supernatural presence. Some stories describe her as a singular figure, while others suggest she has sisters, multiplying her enigmatic persona. Her stories often revolve around her interactions with heroes and heroines, whom she either aids or attempts to devour. This unpredictability adds to her mystique. Unlike purely evil figures in fairy tales, Baba Yaga operates beyond the binary of good and evil. Her behavior is often dictated by the wit, courage, and morality of those who encounter her. Baba Yaga and archetypal fears. Fear of the unknown. Baba Yaga is a personification of the wilderness, the dark, uncharted territories beyond the village, where danger lurks and survival is uncertain. Her dwelling, deep in the forest and nearly impossible to find unless she wants to be found, reinforces her association with the unknown. In many cultures, forests symbolize mystery and transformation, where one can either perish or emerge wiser and stronger. Heroes and heroines who seek Baba Yaga often undergo trials that test their resilience, intellect, and moral fiber. By embodying the fear of the unknown, Baba Yaga serves as a metaphor for the journey into the unconscious mind, where individuals must confront their deepest fears, hidden truths, and suppressed instincts. Much like the shadow archetype described by Carl Jung, Baba Yaga is both terrifying and essential for growth, representing the darkness that must be faced to achieve self-discovery. The wild and untamed. Unlike the structured world of human civilization, Baba Yaga's domain operates on its own chaotic rules. Her house moves at will, she travels in a flying mortar and pestle, and she interacts with magical creatures and spirits. She is a reminder of the natural world's raw and unpredictable power, which humans often seek to control but never truly master. In many folk tales, Baba Yaga can be appeased or even provide guidance if approached correctly. Those who show humility, intelligence, and resourcefulness often survive or even gain wisdom from her. However, those who are foolish, disrespectful, or seek power without understanding are often met with a grim fate. This dual nature reinforces the idea that chaos and the wild can be both destructive and transformative, depending on how one engages with them. The feminine in mythology, power and ambiguity. Baba Yaga is a fascinating study in the role of the feminine in mythology. Unlike the benevolent fairy godmothers or wicked stepmothers of Western fairy tales, she does not fit neatly into a single category. She is neither wholly nurturing nor entirely cruel, she is both. This reflects a broader theme in mythology, where powerful female figures are often depicted as either life-giving or monstrous, with little in between. In some interpretations, Baba Yaga is seen as a remnant of ancient Slavic goddesses, particularly those associated with life, death, and rebirth. Like many chthonic, underworld deities, she has power over the threshold between life and death, often playing a role in guiding heroes through transformative journeys. Her ambiguous morality also challenges traditional gender roles. In a time when most mythological women were depicted as passive or secondary figures, Baba Yaga is fiercely independent. She does not exist to serve a male hero's narrative, rather, she dictates the terms of engagement. This makes her a rare and compelling figure in a folklore tradition where female agency is often constrained. Baba Yaga in modern culture. Despite originating in ancient folklore, Baba Yaga's influence has endured into contemporary times. She appears in literature, film, video games, and even modern reinterpretations of fairy tales. Authors like Catherine M. Valente and writers in the fantasy genre have drawn inspiration from her enigmatic character, exploring her potential as a symbol of feminine power, nature's wild unpredictability, and the wisdom gained through trials. She has also made her way into pop culture references, sometimes as a straightforward villain but more often as an ambiguous or misunderstood figure. For instance, in the John Wick film series, the protagonist is given the nickname Baba Yaga, suggesting an unstoppable, mythical force. Though this is a somewhat loose connection to her folkloric origins, it speaks to her enduring mystique as a powerful and feared entity. Why Baba Yaga endures. Baba Yaga remains a compelling figure because she defies easy categorization. She is a reminder that wisdom and chaos are often intertwined, that the unknown is both terrifying and essential for growth, and that powerful female figures in mythology do not have to be reduced to mere helpers or villains. Her presence in stories serves as a test for those who encounter her, pushing them to grow and prove their worthiness. At her core, Baba Yaga embodies the paradoxes of life itself: fear and fascination, destruction and renewal, cruelty and kindness. She speaks to a universal truth, that true wisdom often comes from the places and figures we least expect. Whether seen as a fearsome hag or an ancient, knowing force, she continues to be one of folklore's most enigmatic and enduring figures, ensuring her place in storytelling for generations to come. And there you have it, the dark, twisted origins of Baba Yaga. From ancient Slavic myths to modern interpretations, her legend continues to haunt our imaginations. But as with all folklore, the truth may always remain elusive, hidden in the shadows. What do you think? Is Baba Yaga just a myth, or is there a darker reality beneath the stories? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the eerie and unexplained. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.